You're not supposed to use the excited radio voice when you talk about the Masters, but God damn it, we're back.
I don't think you can say that.
Let's go.
When we're talking about the Masters, right? You can't say fans. You can't say the back nine.
Nope.
I don't know if you can drop
driving range.
I don't know if you can drop GD it.
Well, we did right here on the OG Gambling Syndicate. My guys, we're back. Josh Goodson on his phone, looking up odds. Bennett Johnson at the Heister Automotive Group, holding it down. HeisterAuto.com. Did you get some new glasses? Are you catching up to me?
No, sir. Those are the fake blue light glasses to make you look sophisticated.
I was going to say, you're too young, man. You're you.
I got 20/20 eyesight.
So, guys, I've been delinquent because I've had people reach out to me. Hey, Giglio, I need picks for the players. I need picks for the Waste Management Open. Where are you?
Who's going to be first in Valero Thursday? Right.
And I say to you, here we are. We've made it. We're back for the Masters. Just to review, we'll go over some first-round plays. Josh Goodson's specialty. We'll go over some top 20s. Bennett Johnson's specialties. We'll make some picks to win. And I forgot to mention the one and done for our friends out there. Because, man, if somebody needs one and done help this year, guilty. I'm in last place in my one and done pool.
What have you been doing? Like, where have you been? Let's talk about it. This is
we'll open here.
It's a podcast.
This is what it is. There's been one no cut event. That's like the only event that I have money so far.
Okay.
It's been that bad. It's been that kind of like I took.
Are you even sniffing?
No, like I went crazy. I took the Century. I got money, whoever it was.
Okay.
And then I took like Jackson Suber one of the weeks that he didn't cash. And then I had like somebody who didn't make a cut after making like 5 straight cuts. I had my patented Matt Fitzpatrick down in Florida when he doesn't make the cut down there. It's just been really one disaster after another.
So you need to recalibrate. Maybe the days like this is the start of the recalibration.
The point, I think I took Oberg in the players and he didn't make the cut. Like I didn't make any money off the players. Like that's how bad it's been for me.
I have so much action on the Masters right now. I need you to take Scottie this week.
To cool him.
So you can cool Scottie because like Scottie's the only person I don't have a piece of. So I need you to take Scottie for me so I can, not have to worry about that.
Bennett will add some numbers to this, but I feel like it's been a really weird start to the PGA Tour season.
So, okay. I thought the exact same thing until you just mentioned all the money that you haven't won this year. But then I'm just going to read the winners so far on the main events, not the side events.
Okay.
And all of these sound like surefire winners. No, none of these except for one, you're like, who's that? Hideki, Nick Taylor, Sepp Straka, Harris English, Rory, Thomas Dietrich, Aberg, Joe Highsmith. Okay. Russell Henley, Rory, Victor Hovland, Minwoo. It's like the second through, it's like the top 10 less the winner has been odd. Like it's been a true winner, someone that's like, okay, yeah, that's a PGA Tour winner. But the chasers on Sunday have been boring, which is why I feel like it's kind of seemed like a boring year so far.
I think JT has been good. Justin Thomas has been good this year, but obviously blew the lead to Hovland in one of the Florida events.
And like Rory won the players, but as Bennett was saying, JJ Spawn
should have won.
Should have won, but like that's who the chaser was. It wasn't. We didn't have like a duel or anything like that of guys that we trust and care about.
You say cool off Scottie Scheffler. I thought for sure down in Texas 2 weeks ago when he was in contention, that was the one he was going to pull into the barn and get his win. But obviously he cut his hand in the off season, didn't play in the first few events. He's not been sharp at all, to the point where I really do question why he is the betting favorite in this event. I know he's won it 2 times in the last 3 years, but his odds should not be that short based on the way that he's playing.
Yeah. Bennett, do you have anything on Scottie?
Well, I was gonna actually
his profile like coming into this week or versus what he's been doing before.
Yeah. So 2 things. We've seen like strange injuries wreck. Like, and I'm not saying Scottie's done. This is not like that should be your title on this, and then we'll get all the good.
Scottie
never win again. But we have So Dustin Johnson fell 5 years ago at the Masters, if y'all remember, walking out of his house.
Allegedly,
allegedly, yeah, right. He had some kind of non-drug, non-car accident, mysterious injury.
Yeah.
At home. He's really never been the same player since.
He's just got richer. He's just got richer.
He just got, he upgraded his social life, but downgraded his professional life. Okay. We had Jordan Spieth with the mysterious wrist slash. We're not sure what's going on in there. But when that happened, now 4 years ago, he's had hot streaks, never really been the same player. So I hope we haven't seen the same thing for Scottie, like a mysterious weird injury to the hand, arm area that changes the future of a career. But I think we're going to find out real soon whether that's true or not. And maybe
what?
You know what's funny is you actually have to look at his profile.
Oh God. It's still like top 10.
Yeah.
I see the first person listening to this being like, this motherfucker doesn't know a single thing about God. Scottie Scheffler, T9, T3, T11, T2 in 6 starts this year. Obviously, though, he owns he owns Phoenix.
Yep.
He owns the players too, TPC courses, and for him, top 20 at the players was a bad day. Was a bad week. Same thing in Phoenix, 69, 66, 68, 72, tied for 25th in Phoenix. I mentioned Houston Open. He did tied for second, shoots a 63 on the last day, but still can't win the thing. Like, it's just he's had a weird start to
answer your odds question. I do think Augusta, because it's the one place that they go to every year, right? Of all the majors, how many times have we seen a Phil Mickelson out of nowhere show up and finish second? I think he did that 2 years ago. Just like coming in with no form. How many times have we even seen Tiger, to an extent, like show up broken and like make the cut? Or how many times has like a Jordan Spieth or a Patrick Reed or someone like that just in Scottie has not played bad, to what you just said, but like just showing up to Augusta, and if you've had the success there and have the confidence and have the history there, that usually portends to you showing up and playing well every time you kind of step on the property. And so a lot of our I think a lot of my picks are surrounded around, there's a reason why I've always liked Adam Scott here. And Justin Rose has not won it before, but he has great history of top 10s and such like that. So I think to answer your question about Scottie, it's probably, he hasn't won yet, but why wouldn't he be like the odds-on favorite given how he has played and his history in the last two of the last 3 years?
It's interesting, though. You look at his profile, and I'm judging him against his own standard.
Sure, yes.
Yeah, I guess that's the caveat for the injury. It's Scottie versus Scottie, not Scottie
your thing is like he shouldn't be plus 400. He might be plus 1,000. Yeah, still make him the favorite, but like he probably should be plus 1,000, and then
that gets into actually gambling philosophy.
Correct.
The book can't be exposed like that because too many people would take him.
Exactly right.
At plus 1,000. So okay, I'm working through this thing, but just to give people an idea, last year, what kind of historic year that Scottie Scheffler had: 19 events played, 7 wins, which is ridiculous.
Yep.
2 runner-up, so just about half. He was either first or second. Here's the true ridiculousness. Of the 19 events he played last year, he was in the top 10 16 fucking times.
Insane.
That is bonkers. So I'm just judging him against his own standard. I've been surprised, quite frankly, that he has not won yet this year. He certainly could do that in Augusta this week. I do not anticipate that. And based on our picks here, and there's no value in it, by the way, pre-flop.
Right.
Let him shoot a 71 on Thursday and then grab a piece of him. I have advice on that for another golfer as well. But let's go to let's hit Bennett first.
Okay.
For some golf nerd stuff, because you started the text last week of here is
and they're always like random times. Like it's like we would get Bennett's text and it's like, like the meme of like no one in the world is sitting here at like Tuesday at like 9:44 a.m. like thinking like, here's like the last 17 winners.
What I've been looking at.
Right. I'm like, all right. I don't even think me and you have responded. We're just like, just kind of like, okay, we got it. Bennett, we know, man. Like, we got it, bud. We got it. But I do love it. I do read it all, and it's great stuff.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt your Final Four viewing. Want to let you know that in 2022. All right, so Augusta is my favorite It was everyone's favorite tournament, but it's my favorite specifically because it is the most predictive by a wide margin on tour. To Josh's point, of course, everyone knows, every podcast in the world saying, hey, it's the only major played on the same course every year.
Yep.
Which means a lot of the same players have a lot of experience. And there is, I think, roughly speaking, there's 25 people in the field that have played this tournament 8 or more times, which is, but if you compare that to the other tour events and the other majors on their course, it wouldn't even be close to that. It would probably be way less than half. So if you've been there 8 times, you obviously have a lot of experience, which makes the stats and the predictive nature of it really good. Particular and even more specific this year, a lot of those guys, I'll just say some of the names that have been around that many times, are players that we would consider to be someone that would not be shocking to win. Jordan, Hideki, Rory, John Rahm, Justin Rose, Scottie, Dustin Johnson, Patrick Reed, Cam Smith, Brooks Koepka, Xander, Justin Thomas. Colin Morikawa played it 6 times. Phil, Russell Henley, Matt Fitzpatrick. So none of those guys would be like, oh my gosh, who is that? Where'd that come from? Which kind of makes it fun for podcasts like this. Overall, Augusta is it is a bomber's course. Carry distance is very important here. True carry distance, not total driving. So how far you can carry the golf ball. You do not have to. It's kind of interesting because, of course, on Sunday it does seem to come down to putting, but statistically in the strokes gained world, you do not have to be a great putter to win at Augusta. You just have to have really good 3-putt avoidance, which on tour is factored into strokes gained, but it's always interesting to see 3-putt avoidance. You have to have par 5 scoring, which kind of goes back to the bombers. So this is not a ding and dunk type course. You got to have to be long off the tee, get on or near the green on the par 5s. So you have to be a par 5 scorer. It is statistically on the strokes gained and the true scoring number. So true 72, did you shoot over or under par 72, the hardest course on tour. But it also has the second widest fairways on tour. So that tells you the accuracy off the tee is not that important. It is all about carry distance. So you really want to be looking for the bombers. As far as the winners, you're not going to see a ding and dunk guy go out there and win. So your Brian Harmon tickets, you could just scratch those.
Thank God. I shouldn't hate that guy, but like watching him last week at Valero, it's just he just doesn't do it for me. And when he beat Tommy last year at was it Liverpool in Royal Liverpool for the Open, it's just his whole thing, the waggles, just his, I don't know, just doesn't do it for me at all.
And it takes 7 minutes for him to every shot, which is
it's
just horrible TV. Lastly, this will come to note, actually two bullet points. They are considered the fastest greens, not only on tour, according to data golf, but they use the step meter, of course. We'll hear about that on the broadcast all week, but they are almost always the fastest greens in the world, or on tour, ever how you want to call it. That is factoring the DP World Tour and Live Golf events now. So again, that goes back to the 3-putt avoidance. And lastly, I don't know that this really matters for any. Well, actually, as we hear our players, as we were talking earlier, a lot of these players do play well at Quail Hollow. It's fascinating. The closest statistical consistent course in the world is actually Quail Hollow, which I thought was fascinating.
You were going to think, what, Century?
Century. Kapalua.
Oh, Century. Yeah.
Well, wide fairways.
Rolling undulation. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it maybe comes down to green size, green speed. Quail Hollow always has fast greens, fast, quick, hard fairways. You got to be a bomber there.
So
I don't know. I just thought that
happens to be where the PGA Championship is this year.
Rory,
JT,
Max Homa.
Max Homa, yeah. So, all that being said, that's what, of course, no one probably watching this will be shocked to didn't know anything about Augusta, but I'll let Josh hit with some first round leader stuff. And then as we jump in, I have all of the good data on how to zero in on a winner. We've got 3 lists that's going to guide us right to it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's start with first round leaders then. We will present those right now. I have them on a spreadsheet for us. Let's go to our Masters picks. We've got first round leaders. We'll go from shortest to longest odds.
Yes. So the Masters is probably one of the worst first round leader tournaments to do for me, because your boy likes to live at the bottom of the odds sheet, or the highest odds. Just a little bit of history on the first round leaders of the last 4 tournaments at Augusta. This is horses for courses. When the big dogs show up to Augusta, they start off and they play well from the beginning. Last year, first round leader Bryson. Behind him, a guy named Scottie. Max Homa was up there. One of the Hoy guards, Danny Willett. Year before, Victor, first round leader. Brooks was second. Rahm was third. Jason Day fourth. Hitters only. 2022, Sungjae M was the first round leader, followed behind Cam Smith, DJ, Scotty, Neiman. 2021, Justin Rose, followed by Harmon, Matsuyama. Reed was there. Webb Simpson was there. Zalatoris. All that to be said, I actually lived a little bit at the top of the board this time because, I mean, horses show up and horses usually show up early in Augusta. Another thing to think about, the weather tomorrow is going to be absolutely perfect. No wind. Basically, 10 years back, go get the course tomorrow. There should not be any issues tomorrow. They had a lot of rain on Monday, but I imagine the scoring conditions are going to be about as easy as possible. The one thing that we have to remember about Augusta, we know the firm and fast, and we talked about that. Bennett just talked about the 3-putt avoidance mainly because the greens are the fastest that they're going to see on tour. If the wind is down there, it's really, really, really hard to hold these guys back. It just really is. So all that being said, I kind of lived a little bit at the top and at the bottom. Going down my list of first round leaders, again, we start at the shortest and go to the longest. We have Brooks Koepka, 30-1, has actually been playing pretty decent over on the Lift Tour. Corey Connors, he has a really strong course history here. He's got 3 top 10s in the last 5 years. He's at 40-1 first round leader. And a lot of my picks this week were odds based on how, like, what their value is relative to what kind of golfer I think they are, and also their value, their course history at Augusta. So we have Jason Day, 50-1, Sepp Straka, 60-1. Billy Ho was Bennett. I'm going to go ahead and throw his in there. He can tell us his why here in a second at 60-1. We had Berger, 65-1. Thomas Dietrich, 70-1. Harold English, 80-1. Hewitt, 100-1. Cam Davis, Nico in the Hoge coin. Tom Hoge is a specialist on Thursday on the regular tour, and he usually shows up, so I like that for value. Then 2 more, Davis Riley plus 11,000, and then former Masters champion, some would say the hottest player on the planet. The hottest player on the planet for someone that was in jail a month ago. Angel Cabrera, plus 17,000. You're scoring at home. I think it takes a $6 bet to win $1,000 as your first round leader is the last one of the first round leader plays.
All right, so Hoagie's the one earlier in the year. Century out in Hawaii, 64. Sony Open, 64. 2 completely different courses that he shoots at 64 and is the first round leader. His last three first rounds, though, 73, 71, 72. Going back to Genesis, he had the 77, 78 at Phoenix as well. There are no TPC correlations here, so I think we're safe to say that.
What's the Angel profile look like?
So go back over this. This is a guy who won the Masters, and if you're unfamiliar with golf,
he won in what, 06?
When you win the Masters, you are for life. You are Caleb Love. You're for life. You get to play in their tournament, no matter how old you are, no matter how much time you spend in jail. And he was in jail because is there a domestic violence issue?
Yeah, something about that
sent him to jail, like in Argentina.
Yeah, in Argentina jail, which I don't know much about jail, but it seems like you don't want to be in Argentina jail. You probably would rather be somewhere else. And then literally got out. I don't know exactly when he got out, but it was recently, and has played, I believe, 2 tournaments since then. He played 2 weeks ago. It may have been on an the Argentina tour, I believe. Like literally whatever the PGA
the California Penal
It's
League.
like it's the Argentina tour he played 2 weeks ago. The last week he showed up here in the States, played on the Champions Tour and won. And you got to play,
tip your hat.
You got to play a little golf, because you've got like guys like Steve Stricker out there who probably still should be, playing on the PGA, who's just like hoovering up all the wins out there. And Bernard Longer out there just still competes really well on that tour. He showed up and won last week, and now he's in Augusta. And I don't know. I like the vibes. I like the redemption story, and plus 17,000. Sure. Why not?
Bennett, you think it matters? I usually like to take people in the first round who start early. Do you think that matters here? Is this an early, late tournament?
This is not actually, and I kind of remembered saying last year that it was an early, late tournament, but there's actually almost exactly even scoring over the course of the last 5 years, early, late, late, early. Now, some of that could be 1 year you might have good weather late, early, and then vice versa the next year, and it evens out. But statistically speaking, the last 5 Masters, which does include the weird COVID Masters in the fall, there has been no significant correlation to late, early. So I like Josh's idea. You go back and look at the first round leaders the last 4 or 5 years. It's kind of actually, I was telling my wife this. It's kind of like the Kentucky Derby. The big horses are there because they deserve to be there, and when they open the gates, the big horses run.
Yeah,
and doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win on Sunday, but usually you look at the leaderboard, late on Thursday, and you see at least 3 or 4 names at the top that are, big time names.
All right, let's go to our picks for the top 20.
Mm-hmm.
Bennett, this is your specialty. Top 20 finishes. This, for the sake of gambling, these exclude ties. So your payment can be reduced by the number of golfers who are tied in the top 20.
Okay.
And if you're at the 20th line.
Yeah.
So it's not just a 1-for-1 when you look at some of these, because ties do factor into this. Dead heat rules, if you will, do apply, because we are going to make one bet where that does not apply. So, Bennett, let's start with you. Your love affair with Canadians continues here on our first
Mike Weir.
On our very first podcast of the year. Your love affair with Canadians right out the gate. Corey Connors in the top 20. Tell me why.
I love Corey. Corey's 5 straight top 25s this year. He's gained strokes in all 5 major strokes gained category. The only one that he's near 0 is putting, which we've talked about. It's not necessarily as important here as much as 3-putt avoidance is. He's had 3 top 10s at the Masters previously, so he's got some good experience. He's not walking in there blind. And he's actually coming in playing well. I was a little worried about our Canadian. Nick Taylor did win earlier this year, but I was a little worried about our Canadian train. But all of them have kind of gotten it back on board the last month, Taylor Pendrith included. So I like one of our Canadians, Corey Connors, plus 150.
By the way, Corey Connors tied for 5th at the Century, Kapalua.
Direct correlation.
He's been playing well. He's coming in. He's coming in good form too.
He is coming in good form. Just one note on the top 20s at the Masters. There's only 95 players in the field.
Yeah.
So, and top 50 in ties make the cut. So you're looking at names. You're thinking, if this guy makes the cut, we got a really good chance at a top 20. Once you get to Saturday, all you got to beat half the guys out there, to pull off a top 20. So with that being said, some guys where the odds can be a little tighter, I would say, for the Masters, because there's just not that many options in the field versus 140, 150 player tour event, or, for like the PGA Championship, there's 155 players. Choosing a top 20, that's a pretty ballsy bet, really. But here, if of the 95, you take out some of the amateurs, you take up, like Joe's point, the old guys that are just coming back to play, you really only have like 75 truly quote unquote competitive players. So if you got to beat, what is that, 50 guys to get the top 20. Next, speaking of my favorites, the Hens, Russell Henley, also plus 150.
Not a bomber.
Not a bomber, but we don't have to be a bomber to be in the top 20, Joe. We just got to be a bomber to win.
Okay.
And Will Zalatoris, someone with some good course history here. 9th last year. He's had a 6th. He's also finished 2nd here before. Will Zalatoris coming in, all the players in the field, all 95, he total strokes gained average at Augusta. He's actually 2nd behind Scottie. He's averaging gaining 2.5 strokes on the field over his, this will be his 5th Master. So really good strokes gain numbers for Will Zalatoris at Augusta. Lastly,
your last one.
Can I call him the old my old guy? Is he allowed to be called the old guy? Okay.
Yeah, he's reached that point in his career.
He has reached that point. I like Lucas Glover. I'm going to read some other statistics later about picking the winners. Some of the 13 of 13 last winners, 15 of the last 16 have all of these. Surprisingly, Lucas Glover is actually on all of those lists. Now, I'm not sitting here thinking he's going to walk out and win Augusta, but when you see someone that has all of the qualities of a winner and you're just trying to hit a top 20, plus 360 actually is pretty good value.
His last 2 starts tied for 3rd at the Players, tied for 8th at Valspar. Also earlier this year, tied for 3rd at Pebble Beach, and was nearly in the top 20 at my Correlation Century, tied for 20.
all of those courses other than Century are traditionally thought of as difficult courses. Yes. So he is definitely a difficult course player. We've seen him do, obviously, with the U.S. Open, but we have seen him perform well at the U.S. Open on difficult courses as well.
All right, Josh, you're picking a golfer that you hate for the top 20?
Only because of the weather.
Interesting. Explain, because Patrick Cantlay is a guy, sunny day, California player. He's a guy that you typically stay away from. So why
for
are
winning?
You,
for winning,
sure.
So why for winning? Like,
how do we get to this Patrick Cantlay top 20 pick for you? I'm surprised.
Honestly, like I said, it's mainly because of the weather. He actually has a pretty good history here in Augusta. Since 2019, he's T9, T17, cut, T39, T14, T22. So he's been in the top 23 of the past 6 years, sniffed around at two of the other, and only missed one of the cuts. He's played okay this year.
His value sucks, Josh. Plus 105.
And like, I think it's just because he's played well here before. Okay. The weather's, I think he is a sunny day guy. Pin your ears back. Every par 5 here is reachable type thing, and make a few eagles, make a few birdies. I think he's going to be sniffing around. And so that's just kind of why I liked him. I also liked, and I found the top 20, including ties. So you can go and correct me if you need to, but I had Cam Smith plus 150. Great course.
To be clear, if you can get top 20, including ties, take it.
Do it.
It's not reduced.
Exactly.
Now, your juice is going to be a little bit lower, but that's the number that
I'd rather
you actually want. Because it won't be cut.
Cam Smith plus 150 was my other was my second top 20 pick. Course history has always played pretty great here at Augusta while he's been a pro. And then the last one, it's basically even money almost to finish top 20, including ties. Again, this is a weather. I can remember the Hideki year that he won. Did anyone remember that Masters except for me, who had like a Mark Leishman and Justin Rose ticket, who both were like leading? Yeah. And the only reason I swear that Hideki actually won that Masters is that there was a massive rain delay in the middle, softened up the course, made it easier, because before then it was playing extremely hard, extremely difficult. I don't usually think of Hideki as a grinder. I think of him as a pin your ears back, go flag hunting, soft green, soft conditions. It allowed for him to do that. So I don't think the green's necessarily going to be that soft unless they get a lot of rain on Friday, but the course is going to be benign, not a lot of wind issues, things like that. So Hideki basically had even money to be in the top 20. I thought was a pretty safe play. And he's also played well this year. Like you said, he has the win earlier this year. So he's coming in playing pretty well. And the good thing, as Bennett talked about earlier, you don't have to be a great putter at Augusta to win. It's avoiding the 3 putts. And Hideki is still probably one of the best. Look, he's going to miss some 7-foot birdie putts that, like, you're like, come on, dude. How do you miss this? But he's also probably going to be on every par 5 and 2 and at least make birdie on all of them for the most part and be in contention, I believe.
So we all agree there's always one old person at the Masters who makes a run. And you're like, what is this old fuck doing here? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Lefty, even Tiger, Jack when they won.
I have lefty.
But there's always one of Oosthuizen is usually
Freddie Couples used to show up on the Thursday, Friday.
Can Sergio, is he now moving into old person category?
He's getting there. Getting there.
So here's the thing: like, I would take Sergio if he was like on DraftKings.
You have Sergio.
No, but I would take Sergio. Is it still top 20?
Yeah.
So Sergio is my last one, but I thought you were talking about top old guys. Sergio is not listed as one of the top seniors on the DraftKings.
Well, here you go. I think. Well, yeah, Bernard Longer a couple of years ago beat my pick to win this year. You want value. Mm-hmm. El Pato is plus 1,100 to be in the top 20.
I'm going to have him everywhere.
You sprinkle that.
Yeah.
I think you sprinkle that.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be one old fuck who's running around, and you're going to get his whole life story, and Jim Nance is going to be pulling out the tissues and lotion and all the other bullshit he tries at the Masters. Maybe not for El Pato, who's a convicted, abuser. But moral of the story, there's value
Yeah.
in taking the bad guy. All right. Are we ready for some winner picks?
Let me do mine first because I gotta scoot after these.
Okay. I'll let you start because you have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Let's go.
I believe it's in every tournament that we ever get together and do this podcast, and he's playing in play. Tommy Fleetwood, 40-1. I am too. So a guy, I need to be true to myself. He's almost, I might give him one more year until he's off like my list of picking. Like maybe he's just not going to win. Kind of like the Patrick Cantlay, kind of like Russ Henley at majors type thing. Yeah. He's just not going to do it. I need to stop saying he's going to do it. But Patrick Cantlay, 40-1. I have some Corey Connors,
60-1. That's a good number.
60-1. I liked him. At that, I had some Brooks Koepka, 30-1.
Brooks.
It is
bit me so much last year.
I know, but Brooks is the epitome of you're going to be mad when you're not there for it. Yeah, because he's done it before and he's shown up out of nowhere, like all the time before. And then my fourth one, I believe, was Hideki, 30-1.
Okay,
so,
Bennett,
I got a piece.
All right, hey, before you leave though, I need one pick for our top 20, including Ty's parlay. Who do you feel safest about?
Hideki.
Matsu.
Hideki, like even money.
Okay. All right, man. Appreciate you. All right, Ben. It's just you and me now. We got your picks.
Just the two of us.
First one's Colin Morikawa, 16-1.
All right. I'll hit you with the really, really quick stats, and we're going to hammer a winner. One of these names will 100% win. It just depends on if we're bold enough to put money on that ticket. 13 of the last 13. So 13 of the last 13 Masters winners had gained 18 strokes tee to green in the 4 tournaments leading into the Masters. That's a pretty accurate sample size. Some of these names will not sound like the others, and that will help you even zero in even more. Scottie, Corey Connors, Colin, Shane Lowry, JJ Spawn, Keegan Bradley, Rory, Sepp Straka, Lucas Glover, Will Zalatoris, and Russell Henley. So I'm looking at that list, and I'm thinking JJ Spawn's not winning the Masters.
Right.
Keegan Bradley, I love him. Go USA, Ryder Cup, all that. He's not winning the Masters. Sepp Straka coming in. I think I sent you this text. He's never broke 70 at Augusta. So
it doesn't make any sense. He went to Georgia. You figured he's played this course.
You would think he's played there, but so I don't think he's winning. Lucas Glover, kind of my select old guy. Love Lucas. I could definitely see him there on Sunday, like a top 10 sneaky. He's not winning the Masters. Again, I love Russell Henley. He's always going to fail me in the majors. I don't think he's winning the Masters. So that really shortens your list down to Scottie, Corey Connors, Colin, Shane Lowry, Rory, or Will Zalatoris. And it would be shocking to see Will break through here, frankly. So you're really zeroing in on a Scottie, Corey Connors, Colin, Shane, Rory world, which is pretty tight. So I took that list over to 7 of the last 7 Masters winners have been top 30 world golf rankings, including Liv, had a top 5 finish, previous top 25 at Augusta, and ranked in the top 25 strokes gained tee to green. So again, very tight. We are really tight here. Only 7 guys follow that. 2 of which we've already taken off. So the guys left are Rory, Colin, or Shane Lowry. I'm not bold enough to pick Shane Lowry or Rory because I just don't think their number's good enough. So you're really just floating surefire money there. Colin Morikawa is my first winner, plus 1,600. The only guy who fit all of those trends except for one that missed is Jon Rahm. And frankly, I'm not sure how good the strokes gained information is coming off Liv. So he was just barely missing. I think there's some value at plus 1,300 with Jon Rahm, someone we've seen have some good success here before. He's obviously won before. And he's had 4 other top 10s at the Masters. So you're talking about someone who's won there before, coming in with good form on Liv Tour, and he's got 4 top 10s there before, and he's plus 1,300. So not bad. Obviously, past world number 1, Jon Rahm. No surprise there. So I like our list of Rory, Colin, Shane Lowry, or Scottie, one of those 4 guys coming out with the win.
Do you like my Bryson DeChambeau pick? That is I actually only have 1 bet on the Masters. It's I don't know if I should be proud of myself for my restraint or if I should be depressed that I only have 1 wager on the Masters, but it is a ticket on the big boy, the not so big boy anymore, the U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau.
No, if your question is, do I hate it? I do not hate it.
Okay.
He actually fits 16 of the 19 trends on my handy dandy cheat sheet here. So the only thing about Bryson is that kind of worries me here, which, and I guess he was top 10 last year. I believe he was 6, right?
He fell out of it. Like
he
really
was there.
struggled on the last day.
He had 3 days in the contention, and then maybe on the quote unquote last 9, not the back 9.
That's right.
Final 9 holes. I think he did fall out of it, but he did have that.
Right, 5 for 6, but he shot a 75 on the last day.
Yeah, okay, so a 75 on the last day. And I can't get this comment out of my head, and if I can't, then I know he can't. When he said that he shows up here thinking it's a par 68.
Yeah.
If I say right now on this podcast, well, he has never recovered from that. Obviously not true, because he had a T6 last year leading, I think 2 days of the 4 last year, he was actually leading. So obviously I can't say that he hasn't recovered from that. But you can't say that coming in on Sunday, if he was leading, that he wouldn't be thinking about, oh, yeah, see, I told you guys it's a par 68. It just took me 3 years to show you. So that's the only reason, I think there would be a little nerves there for me. I mean, he's a major winner, obviously, probably maybe straight up best player in the world, if we laid him and Scottie and Rory side by side. But I do wonder if that comment would not come back in his mind a little bit.
The only other pick I had was Rory. Like, think about the year that he's having. He's won at Pebble Beach. And he's won at TPC Sawgrass. Like, for most people, just playing Pebble Beach and TPC Sawgrass would be a hell of a year. He's won at both tracks. I get the sense that and he should have won at Pinehurst last year. Quite frankly, we've already kind of sort of forgotten.
I mean, he's made this putt right here 100 times, and
I know. So there is no value in taking him before the tournament. My suggestion would be you hope that he shoots a 71 or a 72 or a 73 on the first day. Then you grab him. I do think there would be value in that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's 5-to-1 value in grabbing him and seeing him go to wire. I think you're better off trying to figure it out after day one. So
I agree so much so that I actually went back and looked. So the average number of shots off the lead, the winner after the first round, is 3. So you got to be within 3 strokes of the lead to win on Sunday. Rory's position at the Masters since 2019, 7 back, 10 back, 11 back, 6 back, 7 back, 6 back. So if you can get Rory, even if you stretch it to 4 back, that's going to move his number positively after tomorrow. And of the night, so actually, when I was talking about the 19 bullet points, believe it or not, Rory actually fits all 19. My only reason for not picking him, just obviously gambling wise, not enough juice there right now. We'll see what he does after round 1. But I also wonder if, and I love, as I've said this before, I love to listen to the press conferences and during the week, see who's relaxed, who's having fun. And Rory's he sounds like a guy that's getting ready to win. He's relaxed. He's telling stories about Poppy, his daughter. He's talking about travel and yada, yada. He sounds super relaxed. He sounds focused. Obviously, he's playing unbelievable golf. So I could see him definitely winning. I just wonder if he knows, hey, because Rory's a numbers guy. So he knows this is his time. He's coming in maybe as prepared as ever. But when you look back and look at Rory's, going back in time, 22, T75, missed cut. A second in 2022 when we all thought he would finally do it. Missed the cut in 21, 5th, 20, a 9th, a 4th. And he's actually surprisingly only gaining about 1.5 strokes per round there, compared that a typical tour event of Rory, if you averaged out over 5 or 6 years, is probably gaining 3 strokes against the field. So it's not a strokes gained statistic you would really think for Rory here. You would think he'd be hammering it, but his approach game, he's actually losing strokes over the last 6 years at Augusta.
Interesting to me that his failure in Pinehurst was DeChambeau's benefit. I think one of Rory's biggest problems, and he's even said this, is once DeChambeau went super long, he was chasing him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like a weekend golfer mad that his buddy was hitting the ball longer than him. Oh, they're not buddies. Let's be clear on that front. But there's a competitive spirit to Rory. And to his detriment, he was trying to hit the ball too far, and it was affecting his game. And now DeChambeau leaves. He's off the PGA Tour. Rory wrestles with his driver, much to TaylorMade's chagrin. He had to go back last year and refigure that thing out. I think he's finally settled on the proper model for him this year. But like I said, he comes in this year, and there was a lot of people not talking about Rory McIlroy. I mean, a lot. Xander Schauffele wins 2 majors last year. Scottie wins another one. DeChambeau finally wins, wins another one. I shouldn't say finally, wins another U.S. Open. And it just feels like no one was talking about Rory McIlroy heading into this year. And I think that's where you're seeing this. Oh, cool. Watch me.
A little bit of flex.
Yeah, like you watch me. And his length has been, obviously, he's whatever metric you want to choose, I imagine, in terms of accuracy and length, he's number 1.
Yeah, he's top 5 in all driving categories.
Yeah. So I wonder how the dynamic affects him when DeChambeau is there with him. And they did not play together in the final group last year, right?
Yeah, they were one group apart.
Yeah. So I think that should have helped him last year, but it didn't. And I wonder if they end up together this year. I wonder how that goes. It's an interesting subplot.
I can definitely hear Jim Nance is down there right now writing his final call for the Rory, and I'm going to make this up on the fly. This will be good. The Georgia Pines are kinder than the Carolina Pines. Rory wins. That was good.
I like that. I like that. You have some cockamamie props for me before we say goodbye?
Yeah. We can hammer out on this. Love these 4. Actually, love these 4 props more so than any of my other bets today.
Okay.
I have at plus 100 Shane Lowry straight up over Patrick Cantlay over the 4 days.
Okay.
Corey Connors, as you know, high on my Canadians. Corey Connors to be the low Canadian in the field at plus 100. He has 4 other competitors, one of those being Mike Weir, probably not even making the cut. Next is Dustin Johnson. He's plus 130 to miss the cut. Dustin Johnson he's played well in 2 live events this year out of 6, so not necessarily coming in verbatim on form. Now he obviously has good experience here, and he's played here I think 9 or 10 times, so he knows the course. But to miss the cut, plus 130, and then lastly, this is kind of a little bit of a redo on my winner of Colin Morikawa, but to be the low American plus 900, you kind of think, well, there's a ton of Americans in the field. When you really look, there's actually not as many Americans as you might think. And then, as we've mentioned, some are college golfers. We have the amateurs. You have some of your guys that are coming in from like Latin American amateurs, so on and so forth, that are actually Americans. So
plus 900 for him to be low Americans actually
it's not that bad. So you think his competition is probably Bryson or maybe a hot Justin Thomas, or like someone like a Russell Henley, hang around like a T8 on Sunday. But if you're thinking, Colin Morikawa is going to win, you think he's up there in those top 5 guys, there's a good chance he's going to be the low American. Because really, honestly, outside of 3 or 4 Americans, the competition is definitely on the European side.
Bennett Johnson, I know people know this. James Vito was on the podcast with me today. I said, hey, did you know that you can buy and sell cars with the Heister Auto Group? He knows because he bought his car from the Heister Auto Group. Give him a call, 919-524-3348, or just go to heisterauto.com. I'm currently obsessed with inspections. This is my new fascination with the services that you guys provide.
You seem to get caught onto the most random things that your sponsor,
my corporate champions provide. Yes.
The meat place that sells hot dogs.
Yes.
and the 4-location large family-owned car dealership that does inspections. But yes, we do inspect vehicles. We will come out. If you need us to come get your car, bring it back inspected, we can do that too. You could just go to heisterauto.com, schedule it on there. We'll come pick it up and bring it back for you.
I'm going to tell you why I like your inspection. It's because if I go to one of these other places that changes oil, let's say, they want to upsell me something. That's all they want to do. I just want my car inspected. Like if you sit here, and I trust your group to tell me, hey, you need to do this in order for your car for us to pass your car. But I go to like one of these places and they're like, hey, your rear rotors, they need to be replaced. Otherwise, I can't pass your car. The headlights, they need to be washed. And I'm just like, And how much is that going to cost me? You know, I just want my car inspected. That's it. That's all. I just want to be street legal.
Here's
I'm not asking
what
for a
I'll say
lot
about
here.
inspections. The actual cost of inspection is less than $20.
Right.
If I'm the owner of a drive up free inspection type place,
Yeah.
that $20 isn't going to keep the lights on.
So
Whereas
there
for
we
us, we are definitely not trying to keep our lights on by doing inspections.
No.
We really do it as a benefit to our customers, and we're happy to help.
Awesome. Well, give them a call, 919-524-3348. Buy or sell your car, or check them out at HeasterAuto.com. Bennett, appreciate you taking the time. Josh Goodson as well. Sorry we were a little slow today, but you know what? We'll get back into it. Quail Hollow's right around the corner. Best of luck to everyone with their bets. Appreciate you guys for checking us out. And yeah, hello, friends. It's here. Enjoy the best tournament of the year.